Hello everyone and welcome back. So let's discuss about what those TensorFlow JS library is. So TensorFlow is one of the deep learning library. It is released by the Google in November 2015. So it is a kind of little new library, but as of recording this particular video, almost 4 years has been elapsed. It has all those Python, Java and a C API, although it is written on a very low level programming language like a C and C++. Now suppose those TensorFlow library, if we want to run inside the browser, we just cannot run it because browser cannot run this Python, Java or a C++. So in that case, we have to go for the JavaScript version of this library. So before starting development of tensorflow.js, first the Google himself has released this deeplearn.js library in 2017. And the same library got renamed with a tensorflow.js in 2018. So that is how from the Python and a C, C++ based version of TensorFlow to tensorflow.js library came into existence in 2018, and we have shifted all those computational flow of small model from the server side Python and a Java kind of language to the client side JavaScript kind of language with the help of tensorflow.js library. So it is one of the open source. It is being developed by the Google, and if you are already aware about some of the APIs to access the different functionality available inside the TensorFlow with Python programming language, you will be very much comfortable to work with tensorflow.js because this tensorflow.js has been designed in such a way that it has identical API the way we access the different functionality through Python programming language. So what is TensorFlow? TensorFlow.js is a client-side JavaScript library for the deep learning kind of model building. It is generally used for the running deep learning model inside the browser, although you can run a lot of machine learning related model also. And it is a JavaScript based version of TensorFlow library. Now we have shifted this computational from server to the client. Now client has a limited amount of memory. So there are some pros and cons are associated with client side neural network, or I would say in a very general term, client-side model building stuff. So let's see some of the pros associated while running this training part of machine learning model building inside the browser. So it provides the machine learning related capability to the JavaScript developer and all those JavaScript apps. So there are millions of JavaScript developers are available, and all those JavaScript apps can get the capability to add the intelligent component inside the JavaScript based application. So that is one of the biggest advantage this TensorFlow.js kind of library will provide by putting all those computation inside the browser. Now, as we are running this computation inside the browser, we have a easy access to the different device feature like a camera, because we want to access the camera feature, images or a video from the camera. Now, as all those computations are happening inside the browser, even though it has some limitation, we'll see as a con part of this limitation, but your data will be very much secure because you do not need to send all those data to the server, because every computation related to training, testing or inference we are going to perform on a client-side browser only. So data won't be leaving from your browser. You can even use Python trained TensorFlow model inside the browser also. So suppose there is a very much heavy computations are required and you cannot do all those computation inside the browser. In that case, you can train your model on a different machine with Python based TensorFlow API, and you can import all those Python based trained TensorFlow model inside the browser also. So only inference part will be left. So the transfer learning kind of model is possible inside the browser. Let's see some of the disadvantages associated while running all those computation inside the browser. Now, as we are running under the sandbox of browser, it has a limited memory for the training the model. So if you see very high performance model which is having a millions of weight parameter for the deep learning model, you just cannot train all those model inside the browser. So due to limitation of memory, you cannot run all those things. Now, original trained model of VGG is approximately 500 MB, but we have a limited memory available. So browser can handle maximum 30 megabytes of model size. So you just cannot import those 500 megabytes of already pre-trained VGG model. But then we have another options are available like a mobile net. But mobile net itself has its own limitation. When very high performance VGG kind of model can classify thousands of different classification category, mobile net can handle very less number of output categories. So heavy computation is not possible inside the browser. We all know that JavaScript is slow. So model training also will be slow. But we have a solutions are available like a WebGL. So Tensorflow.js internally use this WebGL graphics capability. So all those neural network related computation like a very heavy matrix manipulation stuff, matrix operation related stuff happens inside the inbuilt graphics processor available on your machine. So internally it uses those WebGL graphics capability to do all those operations very much fast. Alright, so these are some of the pros and cons are associated while running your machine learning or a deep learning model on a front-end application like a browser. Alright, so that's all about what is TensorFlow.